right, welcome to another episode of Spare Time. I'm Carlos. Today, my guest is Bryant Perez, owner of Little Brothers Pub. What's up, Bryant?
Not much, Carlos. Having a good day, except for the heat. But other than that, it's going good.
I know, and you have to deal with my office not having AC right now, too.
Believe me, this is so much better than my kitchen right now.
I'm sure. So, a lot of people might not know you, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. As Carlos said, my name is Bryant Perez. I was born up in Mount Vernon, Washington. My family moved down here when I was about 6 months old, and Roseburg is what I've known my whole life. Grew up in Winston-Dillard. Graduated from Umpqua Valley Christian and played football for Douglas. Kind of bounced around a few little different odd jobs here and there. Tried college out. Did okay. Was bored. I worked as a butcher for a couple of years and a bartender and a brewer, and I lucked into the pub with my sister and a friend of ours, Mike, and it's been good.
Right on. Well, that's cool. So you've done a little bit of stuff, but all kind of sort of in the service industry, all of it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Let's see what I worked at Norris Blueberry Farms for a couple of years, right out of high school.
Dude, I think everybody did that. They were like the only place that would hire you if you had just a work permit.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, packaged blueberries for 3 years, running pallet jacks, things like that. And I was at GameStop for a little bit, and I sold insurance for a while. Yeah, I was all over the place.
Right on. I like that. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, and in little old Roseburg, we have to... It's not like we have a vast opportunity field, So
no, well, and I had so many friends' dads that were lifers at the mill, and it was just one thing I never wanted to do. Looking back on it, I'm like, no, I should have done it for a couple of years, but at the time I was like, I don't want to get stuck here. My mind was elsewhere until I realized, no, this is home. So trying to find my place in it.
Nice. I grew up in a family of loggers and mill workers.
Okay.
And so right out of high school, I tried to be a logger. I set chokers for exactly one day and discovered very quickly that was not for me. And then the same guy who had hired me to set chokers felt pity on me. Well, he had a firewood cutting business, like all the trash wood that he couldn't sell at the mill. He would take and cut into firewood and fill these cargo trailers. So he put me to work for 2 days, cutting firewood and splitting it and stacking it literally, like a semi-truck cargo trailer.
Yeah.
We stacked those things, bottom to top, front to back with firewood. And then he sold those. I don't know where he sold them, but whatever. But I lasted 2 days on that job and then discovered that was definitely not for me also. And so then I went to the mill because I figured that was going to be good money.
Right.
Be good. I actually did the mill for a while, and that I just didn't like it. And then I went to Bayliner building boats and stuff. They're gone now. They're not even here anymore. And I actually enjoyed that. I did that. I actually worked there twice. I was there and I was doing that, and a buddy of mine was selling manufactured homes, and he's like, you know what? I bet you could sell stuff. And I was like, well, it can't be any worse than what I'm doing. And so, anyways, I went into sales.
Yeah.
Did that, and the story goes on, and I've been basically doing sales or management or some kind of customer service thing ever since.
Yeah. So. It's honestly, it's one of those kind of jobs, customer service, where, as horrible as people can be, there are people who are really good at it. And it's just a natural act to, how to interact with people and know what people need. And, for some of us, it fits,
Yeah, for sure. When I was at Lowe's forever. And probably the last 7-8 years that I was there, I was one of the main people that they used to call on whenever there was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
because I was good with dealing with people that
Yeah,
were
you
mad.
could de-escalate. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you learn after time how to deal with every kind of person you can think of. So, after you decided you weren't going to do the mill and that kind of stuff, you end up, you said you were a bartender, and then you started out doing some meat cutting, though, right?
Right. Well, so, I tried to do a bunch of stuff up at UCC for a couple years outside of high school. I went into, finance as my major and law enforcement as my major. And I jumped around so much because I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. I was actually going to join the military right out of high school, and I got medically declined because I broke my wrist my junior year. Broke my wrist my junior year of high school and went 8 months not knowing it was broken because we went and got it, we got checked out like the
That
next
had to
week.
be mostly healed. That had to be healed by then.
Well, so what happened was it was such a clean cut, like such a clean break, that when they checked it on the x-rays, they didn't see anything wrong because it was so tightly compacted together still. And then, 8 months down the line, it's somewhat healed, but it's also moved enough. And I ended up doing summer basketball, and like my first shot for summer basketball, go back to shoot, just pain all the way up my arm.
Your hand just folds over.
Oh, absolutely. And I still play baseball too, so I just had it wrapped up the whole time. I'm like, well, I haven't given it time to rest, so I'm sure it's fine.
You just thought you were going to live with that for the rest of your life?
I'm like, it's a bad sprain, whatever. And because it never bruised, never swelled, never did anything that I was like, oh no, this is bad. I was like, yeah, it's hurts, but oh well, suck it up.
Crazy, dude.
And so, yeah, I finally go back in that summer, and they're like, oh no, it's broken, like clean break in half. So now there's a pin in it, and I didn't do any of the therapy I was supposed to do, so I've got like zero movement in my right wrist, which is, kind of required for the military. So I didn't even make it past inspection. They're like, oh yeah, no.
Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't seem to affect your ability to cook some good shit.
Well, no, flipping pans and moving stuff is.
So what'd you bring? You brought me this sandwich that we had.
Oh yeah. So
what was that?
Well, you told me we were doing this, and I was like, I get hungry, and so I made you it was a toasted French roll with garlic aioli. I did a little spinach and arugula with tomatoes, caramelized onions, and a pan-seared steak. And that's what I brought you as a sandwich today.
Well, it was phenomenal, dude. And whatever that mayo or whatever that stuff was on there, that was good too.
Sweet.
So yeah.
No, I like playing around with stuff. I haven't quite figured out exactly what I want the pub to be, but cooking's what I did in my spare time all the time. So it's fun playing around with different things.
Well, I don't know how many people actually do this, but it's turned into whenever I come there, I don't even order. I just let you cook me whatever you feel like making me.
Sure.
And I've never been disappointed yet. So
I appreciate that.
And I've had stuff that I'm pretty sure was just like leftover shit you were trying to get rid of, but it still tasted good. And then I've had stuff that was super fancy. The fucking most giant burger I ever seen in my life, dude. I had to like stand up to mash that thing down. So I could
was that Desperado one that I did for you?
I don't even know. It's the bacon. The bacon is what made it so freaking tall.
Oh yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it was great, top notch, dude. I never complain, and it's actually a pretty good talking point because I sometimes I'll bring my guests down there before we do the podcast, and they're like, "You don't even order?" And I was like, "No, he knows me. I'm just let him make me whatever he wants." And the last time I went, my buddy that I took in there, it wasn't for the podcast. It was just a buddy that I was taking it. He's like, I'm going to do that too. And I was like, okay, do it. And he was super happy with it. Sweet. So, I mean, you did a good job. It was great. The only other place I do that is that El Dorado restaurant.
Oh,
I'll just ask him what's good, and he'll just make me some stuff, and it's always freaking great. You can't go wrong with Mexican food, though, so it's always going to be good. Okay. It might not be good for your guts, but it's always going to taste good.
Yeah, see, I got a weird... no, El Dorado's great. El Dorado's fantastic. We grew up in Winston, though, so, Carlos's was...
Oh, dude, that was the
go-to
place, yeah.
Yeah, because, I grew up going to church right across the street, and so as soon as church was over, we head right over to Carlos's, and that was Sunday dinner. Half the time it ended up being Thursday dinner, too. We just ordered something, but no, that's...
Every time I go there, well, I'm older now, so now it doesn't happen. But I used to go there all the time. Like my dad would take us there or whatever. And I don't know the guy's name, the owner or whatever. Every time he would try and get me to drink some tequila. As soon as he found out that I couldn't speak Spanish, he'd be like, "Oh, we'll get him some tequila. He'll be speaking Spanish by the time he leaves." It was hilarious every time, dude. And honestly, that happens at a lot of Mexican restaurants. When they'll speak Spanish to me because I'm obviously Mexican.
Yeah.
And I'm like, de nada? And then they immediately go into, "Oh, you don't speak Spanish?" And they fuck with me.
Yeah.
But it always turns into free drinks or free food.
There you go.
Or something. So I play along every time because I'm down with that stuff.
See, I don't get my last name's Perez. Like, you know,
but you don't look.
I don't look it at all. And one of my
straight in the Aryan Nation prison, dude.
One of my favorite stories of that though is we got a phone call, and it was Jehovah's Witnesses, and this was 8, 9 years ago when they were like really pressing, and the entire message was in Spanish because when you looked us up in the phone book, you know, it was Perez. Yeah. So the entire message was in Spanish. I'm like, yeah, I don't speak anything. I did 2 years of Spanish in high school.
Do Jehovah's Witnesses speak Spanish?
Apparently this one did. We only knew because like we were able to pinpoint some of the words that he was saying. And, you know, Jehovah's Witness is still Jehovah's Witness in Spanish. So, yeah. Or Jehovah.
That'd be Jesus.
But yeah, no, whitest Mexican, you know. It's really funny.
Oh, no, I'm pretty white, too. I spent the last weekend in a swimming pool in the sun at 150 degrees, whatever it is right now.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of color in my face, but my roundness has not seen the sun in many years. So I was wearing a t-shirt in the pool. Mm-hmm. So only my forearms and my head got the sun. So
well, I feel like I've pretty much lost any. I mean, I didn't have much to begin with, but I lost like all sun resistance since I'm in the pub all the time. It's just there's no natural sunlight coming into that place. So I went floating on Sunday. You know,
I took my wife there not very long ago, and she was making fun of your freaking plants. She's like, "I feel bad for these plants."
Those plants, okay. As much, I got nothing to do with those plants. All right, those are my business partner Mike, and he's like specifically, you know, we joke around. He's the plant lady.
He's forbidden you to mess with them.
No, I've forbidden myself to mess with them. So he's brought in plants that like thrive on neglect because I'm gonna neglect them.
Yeah. Well, according to my wife, they're not thriving. She's like, I feel like I need to steal these plants.
I think he mentioned that a little bit ago. He's like, I'm going to switch out a couple of these. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. You do what you got to do.
Maybe you need cactuses or something that don't need any light whatsoever.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm honestly, they're doing decently well despite the heat. I have a couple friends who they've got home gardens and things like that, and they've just been completely roasted over this last week and weekend.
Yeah, my wife, huge plant. My wife is a crazy plant lady.
Okay,
and I live in a jungle. In the wintertime, there's plants in my shower.
Well, I mean it's humid.
Yeah, but all her hanging baskets outside, they're all getting destroyed this week. She's been out there watering them every day, trying to keep them alive, but they just look like they're just hating life.
Yeah. My grandma we've got 2 planters outside the front of the pub.
Yeah.
My grandma's taking those over. She every morning she comes by and checks on them. And
she's like my wife. She's like, oh, these plants are dying. Did you know that?
Well, when we took the pub over, they had just perennials. I think that's the term. Those are the ones that come back all the time.
Don't ask me.
All right, cool. I think perennials is the term. So they just had bulb perennials. So they'd come back in the spring and then they'd disappear in the winter. And my grandma came in and she's kind of taking over as her project to redo the soil. And she's looked up these videos on how to properly arrange flower pots to make sure that all the plants.
Freaking awesome,
dude, it's awesome. And so, especially for this last weekend, though, she's like, hey, can you add in a little extra water here and there throughout? It's like, all right, okay, yes, absolutely, I will.
Well, at least on the front of the pub, that only gets the morning sunlight. So That's perfect.
Oh yeah, there's a tree right out front that I like. I
saw that you were able to get a table and chairs out there now.
Yes.
That's freaking cool.
So it's kind of opened up
just in time for it to be 1,000 degrees outside. Yeah.
Well, the pub's 1,000 square feet. There's a one door in and out. It's one of my favorite gags whenever somebody comes in for the first time. I said, I give you the grand tour. And I just do like a 360 circle. And I said, there's a front door, there's a kitchen, there's a bathroom. Yeah. All right, we're all set.
Don't pee on the wall in the bathroom.
But yeah, so having that little extra outlet space has been nice to kind of open the place up a little bit. So,
well, I dig it. I love the atmosphere in there. I think almost every time I go there, I see at least one of the same people I see almost every time. So, I mean, you got a good following of regulars, and you've been doing a lot of stuff in there. I think it's cool.
Yeah. So. No, it's what, a year and a half now since we took over, and honestly, it's still building. But I feel like we definitely.
I know you took that over pretty close to the same time I took this over. So
yeah, just a couple months before. Yeah, I think so. And so, but it's been nice. We had a good base that we built upon, and then like you said, we have our regulars that, you see them there every week, and it's cool too because so it's the second oldest restaurant in town, oldest being Jersey Lily.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Cool. Jersey Lily is the oldest restaurant, and then ours is the second, Little Brothers, and. So it's nice because it still kind of gets that recognition a lot from people who have obviously been in this town a long time. And then you get the travel throughs and the passerbys who kind of want to find that small, like, hole in the wall place. And so we get like a lot of travel to traffic, which is nice.
I know last time I went, I think maybe it was the time before. I don't know. One of the times recently that I went, there was like some out of town folks. Like, I think they had Washington plates or something.
Sure.
But they had cab over campers, and they were like taking up the whole damn road, dude. I had to park on the other side. But yeah, they were eating, and I think I saw that they posted reviews on your thing and everything. And you had even said something about it like the next week after that they were super stoked with how the food was.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I like to surprise people because people come in thinking it's just a normal pub, you're going to get beer, you're going to get chicken strips. And like, no, I like to, I get my produce fresh every day from Sherm's. Try to put a lot of effort and time into what goes out because you can get beer and alcohol anywhere, But,
yeah.
So, and I think that's what also makes it very difficult for me because trying to still find out what like the identity and the future of this place is going to be. This is a place that's been around since 1976. It's had 5 different sets of owners, and it's a staple as it is. What makes it ours? What makes it different from before? And
well, I like that you're not changing the menu, but you're adding things, and even a lot of it's just temporary things. Like you'll throw something in there for a month or two. You kind of pick 1 or 2 ingredients, and you'll do for a month or so. You'll do, a sandwich and a salad, and like 3 different things that are all with those ingredients.
Yeah,
which I think is great. I know I've been trying to get you to copy the Bobby sandwich, which for anyone that knows is basically like Thanksgiving dinner in a sandwich. And I'm hoping you'll do that. And I told Chris, the guy that I bought the business from, that you were thinking about doing that. He's like, if he does that, I will totally be there like every day. Because that is his favorite sandwich of all time.
Sure.
So anyways, I've been trying to get you to do that. You were telling me last time I was in that you're going to totally be doing some kind of a mac and cheese burger.
We're going to have a mac and cheese burger. Yeah. So we have 2 kind of new staple burgers that we've added in, and I've been playing around with a couple more. And yeah, the mac and cheese burger being one of them, doing like a mac and cheese onion ring kind of burger thing, and doing like a homemade like beer cheese with the mac and cheese kind of thing.
Nice.
But yeah, just kind of.
Well, and you just made us some kind of a steak sandwich, and I've never seen any steak sandwiches on your menu.
No, that one was. I came up with that like 2 hours ago.
But I've never seen steak on your menu, so you just happen to have some steak laying around in there.
It was a little personal reserve, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. So I could picture a Philly or something like that in there.
When I took over, they had a Philly and a French dip on the menu. And it wasn't that I I did it for a couple months, and like I said, still trying to refine what I want to do.
Yeah.
I think it might be one of those things I bring back, but I'm a little limited with the kitchen, so as much as I want to do things in-house, there are things that I have to kind of take a little more time with.
Yeah, of course, dude. I know when I used to go there even before you owned it.
Sure.
And my go-tos were just a bacon cheeseburger. And they used to have a wet burrito.
Yes, I've heard a lot about the wet burrito.
Yeah, and that was pretty good. So I enjoyed that. What was funny was the old owner used to joke because Sam that used to work here, I think she was his bus driver or something in high
Okay.
school. So he's known her since he's a little kid.
Sure.
So he would always go there and have a beer or two while he's waiting for them to cook our lunch and then bring the lunch back. So he would always order for me down there, and she'd be like, I don't think this guy exists, blah, blah, blah. You're just eating 2 wet burritos. And it was always just like an ongoing joke. So it was fun. But I've been going there for a long time, and it blows my mind how many people, when I tell them about it, they're like, oh, I've never
still
even
don't
heard
know?
of it.
Yeah.
You know? Which goes along with your slogan, Roseburg's best kept secret.
Right.
You know, but I think that's cool. And I deal with the same thing all the time, every day. I've been here for 6 or 7 years, and the store's been here since 2000.
That long, really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So Mike Cooner is the one that started Umpqua Survival.
Yeah.
And he started it because of Y2K. Because he thought he legit thought the world was going to end.
Okay.
So he was preparing everybody to, and it was nothing like it is now. They sold like
there were some MREs and water bottles.
Yeah, water bottles and solar panels and stuff for living off grid because the power grid was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, that's when the store started. But every day to this day, I have at least 1 or 2 customers that walk in the door that tell us, I didn't even know you guys were here. And we've been here longer than anyone else in town. So,
it's weird to think about because, growing up, like, oh, Roseburg, Winston, that's a small town, and we're not really a small town. We are
not anymore.
We are so spread out for a small town.
It was when we were growing up, though. It was pretty small.
Yeah. But, I mean, now it's...
Well, when I was growing up, you're like 15 years old.
I just turned 29, so yeah. I don't know what the difference is on that.
You're 20 years younger than me.
Okay. Okay.
Made myself even older. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. That's what this is. This is a podcast about, exploring everything and being truthful. No, it's the amount of people who, because you got to think about it, like Roseburg's almost segmented into 4 different spots. Like, I mean, you've got your west side of the I-5, you got your east side of I-5, you've got downtown as its own animal, because you could go through all of Roseburg, never even know downtown exists.
Well, and the shitty part is population is based off of city limits.
Yeah.
Nobody lives in city limits.
No.
What's in city limits? Hillcrest? That's it. And everybody lives in Green and freaking Winchester.
Hillcrest and Laurelwood, I think, are the only 2.
That's it.
There's
and Pine Street.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. So, I mean, what everybody lives in Green, Winston, Sutherland, Melrose, Glide. Nobody lives in Roseburg. So it doesn't count. I tell people when I'm out of town or whatever and they ask me about where I live, they're like, "Oh, well, what's the population there?" I'm like, "Well, our population's like 25,000 people." But our surrounding area that actually lives here, it's like probably like 150. So,
I mean, shoot, I don't know if that's got to be somewhat of an exaggeration, but that's at least true.
I don't think so. I think it's pretty damn close to true. Especially if you try and drive through this fucking town at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense that a town like this, it takes you 15 minutes to get across town.
Well, it wasn't designed for freaking as many people to live here. It was designed to be a little tiny town.
I had somebody the other day, and they just came into Roseburg maybe 6 or 7 months ago. They're here for mill work. And so still kind of get used to town, figuring things out. And the pub is now his Monday night go-to. Yeah. You know, he gets off work Monday nights and he comes to the pub and hangs out for our open mic and whatnot. But I was explaining to him, like, you know, at one point, Roseburg was just downtown and then like Stevens, you know, old 99 that went all the way from Green, shoot up to, I think at least Drain, Yonkal. I don't know how far up it goes.
I-5 ruined it all.
And then I-5 had to get built. And it's like, oh, no one uses it except if they're going through town, you know. And it's expanded so much out. But no, it's, you know, Roseburg's one of those places where you either find yourself here your whole life or you end up finding it as a hidden gem later in life.
Dude, when I was growing up, we used to say that Roseburg was cursed, that you could never get out. Like, even if you left, you would always come back.
Okay.
And I would say that is 75% accurate, because almost everybody I know that I've grown up with, even if they left, they're here now.
Okay, let me see.
But honestly, for me, I've left multiple times.
Yeah.
The very last time I left, when I was actually old enough to make decisions, I came back because I missed it. I moved to Missouri, and I don't know if you've ever been to Missouri, but I went to the Ozark Mountains, quote unquote mountains. It's like driving over Stevens Hill, dude. Literally. And it's not like the trees are green. Well, if you the right time of the year, the trees are green.
Yeah.
But the ground is sand and rocks. It's not moss and ferns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's very green here all the time. Even when it's not. Yeah. It's still green. And we have mountains around us, like actual mountains.
No, I tell people one of Roseburg's like biggest selling points is you are an hour away from anything. Yeah. You want the coast, you want the big city, you want to hike, you want the river. You want
a real mountain.
Yeah.
You want to go in the snow. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees in Roseburg, you can be in the snow in an hour and a half.
Yeah. But it's cool, though, because honestly, like, I mean, that's the majority of Oregon.
Yeah.
You know, I just got back so I took my first vacation in probably a year.
Yeah.
Took a 5-day road trip, went to Eastern Oregon. I went through.
This was your new girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Newish.
Yeah, newish. We've been together since December, so,
yeah,
you know.
That's pretty fucking new, yeah.
Long enough to realize that she's so much better than me, and I am lucky as crap. But no, yeah, we took a road trip, went up. You
just threw that in there because you know she's gonna be one of the only people that listens to this.
Actually, I don't think I told her I was on this. She's in the middle of a work week right now, so
yeah. So how'd it go?
No, it was good. We went up to Portland, missed their little I-5 shutdown by about 3 hours. Because I don't know if you knew that. So they shut down all of 4 miles of I-5
for a couple weeks, right?
No, it was like 4 days.
Oh, I thought it was still shut down.
I mean, maybe. I haven't double checked on it, but
no.
When we were checking the trip, it was just supposed to be for the weekend. No, we went up to Portland, through the past Columbia River and whatnot, and hiked a couple of the trails there, and went over to Enterprise and Joseph, and
dude, Joseph is my wife's favorite place in the state.
I have never been before, and I would go back in a heartbeat.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wallowa Lake there is fantastic. We took the tramway up Mount Howard, which overlooks everything. And it's awesome too, because apart from Joseph itself, like Wallowa Lake, it's its own thing. I mean, shoot, you could be there a week and do something different every day, between the hiking and the horseback rides and just being out on the lake and
you guys were tent camping.
Yeah. So, just find different state campgrounds.
You planned it perfectly. Can you imagine if it would have been this week?
Dude, she would have loved it. I'm not kidding. She's a lizard.
My wife's a lizard too.
Yeah. We're driving and I was
You would have hated it.
I would have hated it. I wasn't allowed to turn the AC on.
Oh God.
It was
You need to train that woman right now.
No. She's in charge. She's in charge, Carlos.
Oh my God, you were so whipped, my friend.
Absolutely. And it's worth it. Wow. But no,
that's good, dude.
Which one's this again?
This is the Senator. You know it's stronger.
Oh, pause. Hold.
That's 114 proof.
So I'll be honest, I've never really been a big rye fan.
That's good though.
That's really good. The only other rye that I've enjoyed is Basil Hayden.
Yeah.
And actually, I just got a bottle of Basil Hayden for my birthday a couple weeks ago. It was
Basil Hayden's is fucking sweet,
dude. I don't think I've had anything of theirs I didn't like.
Yeah.
But this was a red wine barrel aged.
Yeah, I've had it. It's good,
dude. It was so good.
Have you had the toast?
No. What's the toast?
It's called Basil Hayden Toast.
Okay.
Toasted. I can't remember. It's really good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this one was nice because like it still had that like smoky, sweet bourbon to it, but then you had the tannins and that extra like acidity from the barrels. No, this is holy cow. I forgot what we were talking about.
You were telling me about how you were basically kissing your girlfriend's ass.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And for anyone out there, that's the way to do it. They're worth it.
Yeah.
No, but I was trying to explain, like, you know, you go through Oregon in total. Like, I mean, I saw 5 shades of Oregon from desert to mountains.
Did you go through the Painted Hills while you were over there?
We did the Painted Hills, yeah. No, we did Blue Basin and the Painted Hills, which is cool because neither one of us had done that before.
Did you see some wild horses while you were over there?
No wild horses. I did see, well, because we also did Smith Rock up in Terrebonne.
Yeah.
So a couple rattlesnakes, a couple raccoons, coyote, a lot of deer, no elk. But no, it was so pretty, and being able to see like how vast and how like different Oregon can be. No, we're pretty lucky.
Right on.
We're pretty lucky. But yeah, no, Painted Hills, oh my gosh.
Dude, there's so much here. I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen everything. My wife is the explorer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would love to. I just don't have time to. So my wife is always on vacation. And, like, I just live through her pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me, one of these days we're going to go to this place. So you're right. You have to, they're
in charge.
You have to let them do what they want.
Yeah. But
I draw the line at air conditioning. My wife can wear more clothes. Fuck that. If it's 65 outside, I've got the AC on.
No, we're gonna try to. I'm trying to go to Crack in the Earth down like Silver Lake area. I think it's Silver Lake. I'm not sure. It's like southeast.
I've heard you drive way the fuck out to get to there.
That sounds right.
And you don't even know you're there until like you walk up to it.
That sounds right.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, because you know, that's always been a thing for me. Is I really like to hike and explore, and
dude, I will hook you up with some good adventures then, because my wife is like a thesaurus of freaking.
Please do. I've got like Google Maps is my friend because you can do different tags for what you want to do. And I've got probably.
Have you ever been to Rogue River Ranch?
No.
Oh, dude, you got to go down there. So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
It's completely off grid, but literally they have like they've turned it into kind of a museum.
Okay.
But they've got like all this. They've got like an old school mill that runs off water power there. They've got everything, and it's right on the Rogue River. Mm-hmm. Like a mile past the Rogue River Ranch, you just drive right past it. There's a trailhead that gets you right on the Rogue River Trail. I think I want to say it's like 3 miles, 4 miles. I might be totally wrong.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up. But you take that trailhead. It's a 1-day hike. You can do it there and back in a day. Walking right on the Rogue River. It'll take you to this lodge that you can only get to from the river that sells ice cream and shit all summer long. They have lodges and shit you could stay the night at if you wanted to. And then you can hike back to that trailhead and come back. Or you can follow that trail all the way to Gold Beach.
Oh, okay.
So, the Rogue River Trail runs from, that's actually the halfway point of the Rogue River Trail is where you're getting on at, is at Rogue River Ranch. My wife and her cousin did the Rogue River Trail, which I think is 51 miles total, or 50 something miles. I don't know. It's been years ago now, but they did that. And I'm way too fat to be hiking 50 miles. The only way I'm hiking 50 miles is if somebody's chasing me and I have to. But my son and I met them at Rogue River Ranch at the halfway point to resupply them and make sure they didn't need anything. Mostly what we did was take all the shit that they were hiking with that they didn't want anymore, that they were like, this is a waste of weight.
Okay.
And then I fed them. My wife does not like meat that much because she doesn't like to chew things. She thinks she has to chew things until they are liquid. And like steak and stuff, you have to chew for way too long for it to become liquid.
Okay.
So she doesn't care for that stuff. I took them like beef stew and shit, and she fucking devoured it. And I think they ate like 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a piece. I mean, they were just like, because all they had been eating for 3 days before that was dehydrated meals.
Right.
And, dude, they just ate everything I brought. They didn't care what it was. And, anyways, and then I picked them up at the end of the hike in Gold Beach. But, yeah, that place is cool as hell for one thing. Even just for a day trip to go down there and check out the museum. Really neat. It's beautiful. You can get in the water there. You can, there's a campground there. If you want to cruise, there's a little campground there and camp for the night.
Okay.
Like I said, there's a day hike that you can hike down. You could stay at those lodges if you, I don't remember what they're called. That place is awesome.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah, I'll have to hook you up. I'll talk to my wife and get some adventures for you to take your girlfriend on.
Yeah. No, I will take any and all. Cool. Yeah. No, it's fun. It's, it's kind of my selling point for her for this place, because she's not from
Where's
Roseburg.
she from?
Well, so she's from Burns and like Bend area.
Well, this place is way better than there.
That's what I'm trying to convince her.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to convince her of. I'm losing so far, but we're doing all right.
Well, Burns is not Bend.
No.
It's way better than Burns.
No. Well, and it's funny. So like we drove through Bend on the way back, after doing Painted Hills and all that kind of stuff. We did Burns, then came over and, or Bend and came over. And, last time she was in Bend was, 8-9 years ago or so. And it's just exploded since then. Like we did a whole populace comparison from like Roseburg when like I was born to like Bend when she was born. And Bend's near almost doubled.
Yeah.
Roseburg's
Well, it had a huge explosion. The problem with there is the political climate is totally different there.
I'll take your word for it. I know nothing about it.
There's a lot of anti-gun and a lot of anti-stuff going on there.
Really?
Yeah. Which is crazy because it's really outdoorsy.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a place that like...
But it got kind of taken over by the Portland crowd kind of moved that way. And so that's kind of the climate that's there.
Because, they ruined Portland, so they had to go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, it's all the people that want to, kayak and freaking mountain bike and hike and all that stuff. But they don't want to have any of the freedoms and stuff other than being able to go outside. So. Sure. But there are some amazing things there. I spent a good amount of time working there for a long time. Really? I used to sell security systems. Okay. So I would travel. My area was basically the entire West Coast, and I spent several weeks over in the Bend area selling security systems. And I will tell you, at that time, they had one of the best strip clubs in the state. I may or may not have had a couple of close to $1,000 weeks at said establishment.
Seriously?
Oh, they knew me very well there. So, it was a good place, but I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. They've got some really good food there. To this day, they still have some really good food there.
That's right, everyone. Go to the strip clubs for the buffet.
Well, not at the strip club. They had okay steak there when I was there, but I don't know if it even exists.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if that place is still there. That was 20 years ago.
Got it.
Whatever. But no, to this day, there's still some good food in Bend.
Yeah.
And it's a cool spot. It's just the politics there are a little weird.
Sure.
So.
Well, I don't know too much about that, but on the way back, like we only stopped in Bend because I found this new brewery. Like a lot of my time is spending research trying to find different beer to bring into the pub. Like we've got awesome local breweries, but I've got 10 taps, so it's kind of nice to expand out and bring.
Well, you want to have stuff that's different than everyone else,
right? And so one of those places that I found, it's called Monkless, Monkless Belgian Ales, and they're based out of Bend. And so we stopped there at their primary spot and had lunch and stuff like that. And, it's nice to.
Was it good?
Oh, it was fantastic. Dude, we had, poutine and I had like a bacon and blue cheeseburger. And,
ooh, that sounds good.
I did a flight of 8 of their beers. And they're all high octane beers. Like they're Belgian style beers. They're like especially malty and like really high in sugars and stuff.
So they're the thicker.
They're going to be thicker, higher in ABV as well. So like I think the lowest ABV was 6.4, and there was the highest one they had on there was called a curtain closer, and they only sold it in a can, and it was 12.4.
Well, I think it can only. I think the highest it can be is 14 before it has to be sold in a liquor store, right?
Something like that. Well, yeah, because there's the beer to like wine section and then the liquor stores. But but like the highest they sold on tap was still 9%, and I was like, holy cow. Problem is,
because what we're drinking right now is 57.4%.
Oh, Child's Play.
Yeah. But that's cool. I like that. It's too bad you don't get more opportunities to do that.
No, I tried to. We stopped at a place in Enterprise called Terminal Gravity, a little brewery up, I wouldn't say little. I don't know how much they distribute, but it was a nice brewery up there, and yeah, just trying to get as much knowledge about everything else that's going on in this world, especially.
Yeah.
People don't really think about a pub as a liquor place; they think about it as a beer place. So. Yeah. What kind of beer can I bring in that's different from everyone else?
But you do have a fairly good selection of liquor too.
Trying to, yeah. I have a new,
and you usually have 1 or 2 drink specials every month.
Mm-hmm. Well, we rotate our drink specials per week. Anywhere from a lot of the girls and the staff, they try and come up with something a little different that they enjoy. So I think the last one we did was a fresh jalapeno mojito. And a mango jalapeno margarita, and make a lot of like the syrups in house, like mince, and I'm working on just like the typical cocktail menu for the pub. I feel with a pub like as old as it is, it needs to kind of be more standard and classic cocktails. So I've been venturing a lot into like Prohibition era stuff.
Yeah.
So actually one thing I learned that's really cool. So the Cosmopolitan, okay, super popular drink. It's Absolute Citron, cranberry juice, lime juice, Cointreau. It's been popular since like the 70s. Well, that's a drink that's as old as the 1920s.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
And it's actually gin to start off with. It's gin, lemon, homemade raspberry syrup.
You've talked a couple times about gin drinks, so you must kind of be a gin guy.
I never was. But since doing this research, trying to find like different, more classic cocktails, so pretty much every good vodka cocktail was gin at one point to start off with.
Nice. Because
Prohibition wise, gin and bourbon was what you could make. Like it was accessible and easy. And so, yeah, I've gotten a little more into gin, which has been interesting because I've never thought that'd be something I go down.
So Mike, who some of the time he's like my co-host.
Okay.
He's one of my best friends. He's a big gin guy. I honestly, I love gin. I love gin drinks.
Yeah.
But gin is one of my kryptonites. Like it cuts through my freaking acid reflux medication and fucking gives me heartburn super bad.
See, that's rum for me. So I can't do rum.
Yeah. Gin and Bloody Marys. I love Bloody Marys. A spicy Bloody Mary is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot drink them because they give me heartburn so bad.
Okay.
Sometimes I will tolerate it anyways because I really crave it.
Because you want it, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's the tomato, I think, is just one of those things that gets past it.
Well, I mean, if you're going extra spicy, too, I mean, that's going to be extra pepper. That's extra hot sauce.
Everything I eat is extra spicy.
Oh, okay.
So the spicy has nothing to do with it. I think it's just the tomato.
The acid.
The acid in that tomato.
Yeah.
And whatever it is in gin, just that goes right past my medication.
Have you tried doing Clamato instead?
No.
Well, because I mean,
in fact, the last Bloody Mary I had didn't even have tomato. It was made entirely out of peppers. The juice was made entirely out of peppers.
What?
Yeah. And it was amazing. May or may not have torn my guts up. But it was amazing. And it had bacon and celery and everything else in it. But it was not good for my guts. So I probably won't be drinking another one of those. But it was awesome.
My mom's family is Canadian. They're from Manitoba and whatnot, and so
yeah, they don't like spicy stuff.
No, I mean they're whiter than I pretend to be. But one of the things they brought up is so their Bloody Marys are called Caesars, and they make them with Clamato juice. So it's clam, tomato. It's a mixture. It's a lot lighter.
Yeah,
not as heavy. I mean, shoot, if you still like your bloodies and you're okay with slight fishiness.
Honestly, Clamato's good, dude. I think it's good. My wife prefers it.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, she likes clam-based things, period. You know the place on the coast called Pig and Pancake?
Yes.
So their gravy is clam-based.
Really?
Yeah. And she thinks it's the best biscuits and gravy in the world. And it's a clam-based gravy instead of, I don't know. What the difference is.
Yeah, doing like a
it's a clam-based gravy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. I mean, that's not something I intentionally want to try, but...
Well, I'll tell you what, the biscuits and gravy are pretty damn good. I had no idea that had anything to do with it, but my wife knows that for whatever reason. And
well, she explores more than you do. She travels around a little more.
Well, yeah. She, dude, I'll tell you what. When we go... So, my wife and I, when we do something, it'll be a spur of the moment. We're going to be like, oh, let's go somewhere for the weekend. And we just pick a direction and we go.
No, I like that. We
don't usually make reservations. Our favorite places to eat and drink are just hole in the wall, like Little Brother's Pub.
Yeah.
Places where we're going to run into regulars and we can have a conversation with some random old dude sitting in a bar stool. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're eating fucking chicken strips, and sometimes we find amazing food. Sometimes we find awesome drinks, but we always seem to find really good people, and they always send us to other places.
That are really good, yeah.
And it always seems to work out for us. So that's kind of our vibe. We don't like swanky shit and that kind of stuff. We just like to have fun and not spend a ton of money and find the little hidden gems in little communities.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way you can do it. Because if you go by magazines or you look online, you're going to find the touristy stuff and you're going to find the places that paid the most money to be advertised. And you're going to miss out on all the real local people like yourself that are busting their ass and putting out good shit that, oh, well, it's not freaking ranked the best on the internet, but there's also 1/20th of the customers coming into that place.
Yeah.
I have a small business. You have a small business. I try and give my business to the other small businesses everywhere I go. Especially in our town, but when I go out of town, I do the same thing.
Yeah,
and I don't know that I ever did that before I was here, but it's definitely something I've embraced since I've since I've been here. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, I got into the service industry probably 6 years ago now, I think officially.
yeah.
And it's one of those things like you kind of, once you see behind the curtain a little bit, you almost respect and like can appreciate a little bit more those small places.
Well, yeah, you know how much they're busting their ass.
And yeah, you know exactly what they're doing to like, oh, okay, here's what I see when I come into the place, but here's what's happening all behind the scenes. That's like, oh, this takes so much more time and effort than you ever, than you think. I definitely became a better tipper when I started working as a server.
For sure.
I was so bad and stingy, which, I mean, to be fair, tipping it's a pretty cancerous setup nowadays with tipping for everything. Shouldn't be that way. But just in general, like, you go to your small mom and pops and things like that, and, their wages are spent on, okay, here's your payroll, here's your overhead, here's this, and that little extra helps out a long way.
Well, I will tell you, mom and pop places, I'm always a top-notch tipper.
Yeah.
Bartenders, I'm always going to be a good tipper. Other than that, I tip really good for service. We get our groceries delivered. They get whatever tip is fucking automatically thrown in. That kind of stuff, I don't worry about. But when it comes to actual people that are busting their ass for service, I tip. My niece works for a food truck.
Okay.
I always tip food trucks really good. I think they're real similar to your place because they're working in a real tight spot. And, they're dealing with the heating elements and that kind of stuff that are excessive for...
No, I got a buddy up in he's up in Eugene right now with a food truck, and
probably 140
dude,
degrees
120 degrees.
Yeah. So those people, when it's like this, I'm gonna fucking tip the shit out of those people,
right?
Because if they're willing to freaking actually show up for work and have a smile on their face when I know they have got to be there's fucking sweat dripping down their pussy, I'm gonna fucking tip the shit out of them, dude. Because I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'd be like, yeah, we're closed this week. Sorry about your luck. But they're busting their ass to make it. And, they deserve to be rewarded for that. I mean, and it's not, they're making probably minimum wage, maybe a couple dollars more. But either way, that's not enough to survive off of. They're
especially
banking on
nowadays.
making some freaking tips.
Yeah.
So, for sure, you're right. When you're on this side of the freaking counter, you know what it means. Mm-hmm. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's literally a whole different world, and it's.
And I don't work in a business that we get tips.
Sure,
but I try and treat our customers good enough that they want to do extra for us, and they do. Like today, we were helping a customer, and he brought in 1 million guns for us to bring into the system. He's like, well, I'll be back in a little bit. He came back with a bunch of fucking tacos for everybody in the shop. And, that kind of little stuff, is great. And he's like, whoa, I don't know what you're going to charge me for this. I said, I'm not going to charge you anything. It's part of what we do.
Yeah.
And I said, if you feel like doing something extra for us, doing something extra for my guys, do it. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when he comes to take care of the rest of his stuff, he'll probably take care of those guys again. And, for that little extra work that they did, they deserve it.
No, there's a genuine value to just, one, respect of who you're dealing with across the counter or just in general every day. And yeah, that kind of barter system, like, hey, I'll do something for you, you doing something for me. Like, it's out of the goodness. It's not like I'm really expecting something back. It's just like people are human beings. We got to treat them as such.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shoot, I got my mail lady. She's working 6 days this week. Okay, I'm complaining about the heat, and she's walking.
Oh, I
in
feel
it.
so bad for them.
So, I got Gatorade and Red Bull for her and keep it cooled so she can stop by and grab what she needs. And I'm not expecting anything from that. That's what she deserves.
Yeah.
Like,
I told all my guys this week, I'm like, dude, it's freaking hot as shit.
yeah.
All the FedEx, UPS, mail people, anybody that delivers stuff to us, make sure you offer them a water or soda or Gatorade or whatever they want.
Yeah, because in case you didn't know, they don't have AC in their cars.
Yeah,
in
it's
their
always
vehicles.
broke.
Yeah, it's broke, or they just don't have it.
Yeah, every single one of them. They're like, oh, I have it. It's just broken. It doesn't work.
So while we can, hide away somewhat with our fans and AC,
my FedEx driver yesterday,
yeah,
she delivered stuff. We gave her a water and let her sit right underneath our AC unit for like 10 minutes. So if anyone got their stuff late after being delivered to here,
get over it.
yeah, get over it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's just the right thing to do. Those people are there all the time. They're the ones that take care of you. You got to take care of them. So
yeah. No.
So what kind of stuff do you have planned for the future?
I have so like I said, we have a new menu, new food and cocktail menu and happy hour menu, that I've been painstakingly working on for months.
You got lots of events too.
Lots of events. Yeah, we do an open mic that's standing every Monday. We do trivia every Wednesday. Trying to, as much as I can, get people booked. We got music every Friday. And then we've actually, last couple months, we picked up a few proceeds nights. So you can
help other people out.
You can, Saving Grace, Peace at Home, trying to donate a little bit back to those organizations and what they're working on, and be a part of the community more than just our building. Stretch outside.
We should do a proceed night for Carlos's podcast, spare time, whiskey cabinet proceed night. That'd be good.
It would be, yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you what, we're gonna have to partner up. Maybe once a month, I'll put whatever you've got as your specialty menu item,
Sure,
and specialty drink item. Maybe I'll throw them on my on my newsletter because I added a food and drink section to my newsletter. So most of them have been just random things I find on the internet.
Yeah, I've
been trying to do as many of them as I can myself, and putting like my personal recipes and stuff on there. Yeah. But it'd be cool. I would love to throw some local places in town and say, if this is something that sounds good to you, it's at Little Brother's Pub all month or whatever. I think that'd be awesome.
I think that's cool. Yeah, because once I
don't have a huge following, but hey, one extra customer is freaking cool.
See, the thing is, like, word of mouth is so much bigger than, social media is nice nowadays, especially with how fast it populates. But with a town like this, like, word of mouth goes far.
Absolutely.
So, what you said, you had 200 people or so watching or listening to this.
Actually, I get about, I think we get about 60 people downloading every week.
Okay. Well, guess what? Those 60 people know at least 200.
And I send out about 300 newsletters every week. So.
Yeah. So, no, that's so important in terms of marketing and getting out there. Yeah, dude, you text me and I will send you whatever I'm working on that week.
Yeah, do it. We'll do it. We'll for sure do that because I think it'd be awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna pause this for 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we're back. Everybody's gotten used to me having to take at least one pee break during the freaking podcast, but we're back, and you and I have been talking about. I didn't know that you were engaged once. Didn't work out. You were just telling me that you were thinking once in a while you get the thought in your mind that I could have sucked it up and it could have worked out. Dude, if the words I could have sucked it up are part of the conversation, it would not have worked out. You cannot be happy if sucking it up is part of it.
Shit. All right, we're recording. hindsight 2020, I know I made the right choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the girl,
And it was the right choice for her, obviously, because you said she got remarried and she's happy now.
No, 100%. Right. It was the right decision, but you still have those moments where you're like, oh, you know what? What if? And it feels stupid to say what if at 29.
Oh, dude, you'll say what if forever.
Forever.
I'm fucking gonna be 50 next year.
Right.
I still say what if.
No, I have so many different what ifs, but no, in this current, like the woman that I'm with now, I would not be who I am if it wasn't for that engagement, if it wasn't for the relationship that I had after that engagement. Like, I learned so much more about myself and about what it actually means to be in a relationship. Like, yeah, my mind's still going to go back to be like, okay, what could I have done? Like, how would my life be different? Because there are things I'm not happy about with now with my life. And then you think, okay, what could I have changed? What could I have altered? What could I have, But if I was to look at the big picture, and I try and pride myself on doing that now, I would have been a terrible husband.
Dude, honestly, so we're talking about what ifs. I have 2 ex-wives.
Okay.
My first wife, her and I get along fine now. As long as we never talk about money. Our daughter is grown. We have grandkids together. She's great. I get along with her fine.
Mm-hmm.
My second wife, haven't had nothing to do with her or spoken a word to her in years, and I love it that way. It's great. I wouldn't change a thing. I'll tell you what, because I love where my life is now. And, you think about the what ifs or whatever, but you have to look at where you're at now and what's going on in your life now. And, I love my life now. I love my wife that I'm with now. Sarah's amazing. And, I love my grandkids. I love where both of my daughters are at in their lives. They make me proud every day that I look at them. Not because they're super successful or anything like that.
Yeah.
But because they have challenges in their lives. And instead of asking everybody for help and whining about it and complaining about it on the Facebook or giving up and freaking going on welfare or anything like that.
Right.
They find a solution and they get through it.
Yeah.
And it makes me proud. My grandkids are amazing. They're amazing. And you look at, what ifs.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to think about it and you go, yeah, it could have been different. It could have been worse. It could have been better. Who knows?
Right.
Would I be willing to gamble it? Fuck no. I wouldn't give up a thing.
Yeah.
And I got 20 years on you, so you got a lot more stuff coming, dude. So, and I'll tell you what, I've known you for a little while, and I feel like you got a lot of good stuff coming. So, I mean, you can what if all you want.
Yeah.
But always look to the future and always look for today.
Yeah.
If you do what's right for you today, eventually it's going to work out. You won't end up being a piece of shit. It's going to work out. And whatever.
No, I hear that. And I think honestly that's been part of the reason that I've had such an issue finding, I guess, what I think is my purpose in life. I'm going to work this job and this is going to be my purpose. This is what I'm going to do to change the world kind of thing. And, cause ever since I was a kid, I was like, no, I'm going to be a dad. And I don't have any kids yet.
Yeah. I can picture you as a dad though.
Dude, I would freaking love it. I guarantee you,
you're like a big kid.
It's one of those things that, like, no matter, because my past isn't perfect. We've talked about that a little bit. But no matter what my past has been, no matter what my future will be, I guarantee you, the moment I have a kid, like, that's my purpose.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for that. It's a ways off because I am no way for it.
Well, I think right now your purpose is this restaurant. Dude.
Absolutely. It's my own little kid. Yeah.
Because you're passionate about it, dude.
I am.
You're passionate about it. And when I talk to you about, like, I come there quite a bit. I'm a regular.
Yeah.
And I try and give you a hard time about adding stuff to the menu or whatever. But your eyes light up when you start talking about that stuff. You got your little notepad. I don't think people know, but you got like a little notepad where you write down everybody's comments and fucking notes about ideas you see on the internet or thoughts you get, things you want to try. And some of that stuff will never happen. And some of it you might go right home the next day and freaking start playing with.
Sure.
But people that are just working don't do that. Only people that are passionate about what they do that, and that's important. I mean, those are the people you want to support. Those are the people that you want to see succeed and you want to fucking celebrate when they do. So I'm looking forward to seeing where things go for you, dude. I think they'll be great. I know you work your ass off. We're in La Tip together. Even though you don't show up very often because you always seem to be stuck at the restaurant. But, that's what you got to do. When you're kind of a one-man show, you do what you need to do for the business, No,
and I am, you said one my show, but I'm very blessed by the help and the staff that I do have.
Yeah.
They're very much my grounding force in a lot of things. Cause I'm passionate in the sense that I want it to be good for everyone who comes in. Like there's the history of this place that I want to keep strong, and the name is important. And then just how do I build it from there? I'm passionate in the sense because, I think part of it's ADD, but like I want everything to be perfect,
How did it work out that you guys ended up, you bought it with your buddy and your sister, right?
Yeah. So
how did you guys even end up there?
Well, so it started off, I was still working at the butcher shop. And I got high enough in there that I started getting different days off. And so me and a buddy who worked there were like, hey, let's go out and get drinks after work, and hang out. And Little Brother's Pub was always on the list. And it always worked out, though, like they were closed right as we were coming. So for years, I was like, this was places in the back of my head, and I never got to be there. And finally, my job kind of changed a little bit, and I started getting weekdays off. And so I would go there for lunch, just, hey, I'm going to check this place out. And I absolutely fell in love with just the feeling of it. It's homey and it's calm and it's peaceful, and you can just go enjoy yourself. From anything to having a conversation with a buddy to reading a book to,
It's always been one of those places that has like a stack of board games and stuff.
Yeah, something like that. And so I just started going there for lunch. Every other week or so I'd get food, and I got to know the owners decently well because of that. And then even through pandemic and whatnot, I was ordering food out and convinced a lot of my coworkers to do the same thing. So we'd put in big orders for them, and
because you're supporting,
supporting local.
Yeah.
And honestly, I contribute so much of it to luck, because I was a regular there for probably 2 or 3 years, before it became apparent that they were wanting to sell and wanting to get out. And, the passion for them just wasn't there as much anymore. And I wasn't at a place where I was like, oh, I can do this. I was like, no. So I told her no. I'm like, nah, no, thank you. And
They
actually,
hit you up with a, you like your burger? You should buy this place.
it was kind of one of those, hey, do you want to buy a pub? I'm like, no, I don't at all. Because I was still trying to find my place. I thought the butcher shop was going to be my end all be all. That I could train up, be an apprentice and a journeyman, and I could do this. And I was working with people I loved, and I still do to this day.
Where were you doing that at?
That was over at Nickelbob's.
Okay.
Which is now McClendon's.
Yeah.
Which I still get meat for the pub from them.
Dude, I love Tim. He's awesome.
Dude, Tim is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
When he was looking to buy that property where the McClendon's is at,
sure,
we were also looking to buy that property.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he came and talked to me and was like, would you guys be willing to maybe split it?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was super expensive. It was a big investment. That was a huge leap of faith for him, and I'm glad things are going awesome because it was a big deal. But I had never even met him before that, and he just came and talked to me like we had known each other forever, and it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've thought he was amazing, and I fucking go there all the time, and I love that place.
No, that when you the steak you talked about at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that from McClendon's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
But
and actually everybody that works there is awesome.
No,
I've got several customers that are his employees.
Yeah. No, I mean so when I got hired on, they were still on Diamond Lake.
Yeah.
And they needed the bigger space even back then.
Oh yeah.
And that was 2019. And they were we were struggling in that small space. So I'm super happy that they have what they have now. It's a dream, honestly.
That place is packed all the time too.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, and when he told me he was going to go over there, he told me, he goes, well, there's no grocery on that side of town.
Not anymore. Once grocery outlet left now.
I think I'm going to add a bunch of grocery in there also so that people can, at least come there and buy everything they need to have a barbecue with salad and everything.
No, I mean, they got the fresh produce. They've got the dairy. Awesome. They've got the potatoes and the frozen section. A lot of times I'll just
go there and grab everything I need for dinner.
Yeah. So. No, I'm there about once a week. Yeah. I'll get burger and I'll get pork for our pulled pork and stuff like that. And every once in a while, I'll see their steak deals and I'll get their primals and stuff like that. But no, those guys treated me like family from the moment I started working for them.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still consider them such. So, but they were such a good, building point to where I am now. So, because I was at Nickelbob's, I started there early 19. And then I picked up a second gig bartending. So I'd do Nickelbob's from, morning to night. And then in the evening, I'd go work bartending.
Where were you bartending?
I was bartending up at Backside.
Okay.
Which is actually, collaboration because his daughter owns Backside. Yeah. So it was a whole family thing. But the knowledge I got from both of those places.
They both tie in perfect to where you're at now.
Right. At one point I was like, oh no, I'm going to be a butcher for the rest of my life. And I'm like, I'm not, but I'm really glad that I learned what I did. And then I was up working at Backside and I brewed beer for a year there for him as well. I was like, oh no, maybe I'll do this. And I was like, no, but I'm really glad I learned what I did.
Yeah.
And then, I lucked into the pub. Cause it was after I was working at both of those places and I got to know the owner pretty well. And it was, one of those days I just kind of sat down and I was like, should I buy a pub? Actually, I was having dinner there with my dad. And I introduced him to the owner and I kind of updated him on the whole situation. And he's like, well, why don't you? And it's really dumb that, you know, you have people in your life that they just say small things and you're like, why didn't I think of this the whole time? And he said those words like, why don't you? And I was like, I don't know. Why don't I? And so I had met my business partner, Mike, through Backside. And he was the first person I had the conversation with. And I brought it up and I said, hey, this situation came up, and I was like, it'd be cool, but like, it's crazy, right? He's like, yeah, it's totally crazy. And I remember a couple weeks later, he's like, hey, so we should talk about this. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, let's talk about this. And so the two of us kind of had spearheaded this, and
he's a funny dude. I met him at our Christmas party.
Yeah,
he was down there. Super nice guy, dude.
Dude,
he and I like kind of hit it off. And we were fucking having drinks left and right. So.
Yeah. No, if I'm to say that I took anything from Backside, it's the people that I met.
Yeah.
We turned it into this, and I brought it up. I was talking with my sister, and her and I have always talked about owning a bar together. It was one of those delusions, like, hey, let's have our entire career. And
now you just need to get her to fucking commit wholly to it.
Dude, she is busy enough with other stuff. She's doing DFPA right now, doing wildlife fires.
Why?
Because there's fires everywhere, man.
I know, but if she committed wholly to the business, I feel like you guys would get to that next level.
Maybe, but it's also one of those things like she's doing something that's
she's passionate about.
She's doing something she's very passionate about.
I understand.
I mean, she's up in Alaska right now.
I know, that's fucking badass.
She's doing a assignment up there in Alaska, helping out with their fires, and like, I've always been a person that I will, and honestly, this is something that I would attribute to Tim, actually. Tim was very strong on pushing people to do what they're passionate for. And, I can't fault her for wanting to do the stuff she's doing because she's doing amazing work. Like,
well, I'll tell you, and I don't know if you've had the opportunity to learn this yet or not, because you're pretty new.
No, I'm a child. Keep it talking.
No,
yeah.
I mean, you're pretty new to having a business and being a manager or whatever. Yeah. But I was always taught that the number one job of a manager is to give your employees all the tools they need to succeed. And that includes training them to do whatever it is that they need to do in their life. Because when it boils down to it, you probably aren't offering them a career.
Right.
You're giving them a job.
Yeah.
So you should count yourself successful based off of how many people become successful after working with you.
Right.
And I've been lucky enough to have a lot of people that have moved on to freaking pretty cool careers and whatnot in my years of working with people. But that it's very important. I mean, if you have a boss who encourages you to get a further education, encourages you to try other things, encourages you to, hey, if this is not what you want to do with your life, I will totally work around your school schedule. I will totally work around your second job schedule. I will work around so that you can get what you need to be happy in your life.
Right.
Those are the people you want to work for. And I encourage you to become that same kind of an employer.
Yeah.
Because you're hiring bartenders and servers. Unless you're like a recovering drug addict or something like that, that's not a career path. I mean, sure, Tom Cruise in Cocktail, that was going to be his career or whatever. But not a lot of people find that a career in life.
Right.
Maybe that turns into you becoming your own restaurant owner or bar owner, which is great. That would be amazing. But you should always be trying to train your replacement or train the people to move on to their next thing.
Yeah.
And it sucks because the people that do that are always your best employees. But you also, it's like they're your kids. I mean, you feel pride in them and you want to support them. And the more of those you get under your belt, the easier it is to find more of those kind of people.
Right.
So, but that's a cool thing. And that's kind of the way I was taught. So that's what I always encourage other people to do, the same thing. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like Tim's one of those guys.
No, absolutely. Like, I mean, I saw, shoot, I mean, we had a big turnover, but it wasn't because the job was bad. It was like people were moving on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, no, I am and ever will be grateful for what I had when I was there. And like I said, I still support him to this day. So,
yeah. Well, now you can really support him.
Oh yeah. No, it's some of my corned beef, my pork, that all comes from them, and it's burger, shoot.
Well, pretty much all your meat comes from them, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's where it comes from or how you cook it, but I can't complain either way. So,
I'd like to say I put my own touch on it.
You just recently took a little vacation.
Yes.
First one in a long time.
First one in a long time.
Was it your first one with your girlfriend?
Yeah, because we've only been together since December. So
yeah. So, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, first off,
do we need another drink before we start this?
I am empty.
All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna grab us some ice.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Now we're refilled. We're good.
All right, so you just asked me about my trip.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about it, man.
So, yeah, like you were saying, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, so first time in a year that I had like a full weekend away.
And first time with the new girlfriend.
First time with the new girlfriend, so yeah.
Does she have stinky feet or bad breath or any of that?
You know what? If anything, she's just OCD about putting things away.
And she's totally against AC, which is a
And
red
totally
flag.
against AC.
Biggest red flag ever. I would dump her immediately.
Well, I'm going to give her some credit, though, because she drove probably like 90% of the time. So, because it was kind of a mixed combination of a vacation for both of us and a birthday present for myself.
Nice.
And so, but it was her car, and so she drove like 90% of the time. So she was in charge, okay? I mean, she was in charge either way. But, no, we went up to Portland, did the...
Don't be too nice of a guy, dude. Girls don't like that. You got to be a dick sometimes, or she'll lose interest.
I don't believe in that. If she's going to lose...
ask her. She'll tell you.
If she's going to lose interest because I'm nice, then whatever.
I'm telling you, dude. My wife wouldn't know what to do if I was nice all the time.
If you ask anybody about me and my personal life, they'll tell me I'm too nice. And I'm going to say, okay, get over it.
Yeah.
That's the way I was raised.
God. You and I got to hang out more. I'll fix you.
But no, we went up to Portland across the Columbia River. We hiked at Wakalila Falls, which is one of the many waterfalls along the Columbia River.
Was that one of the highlights? What were some of the highlights, dude?
No. Highlights were, like I said, we hiked every time. So we went up, I think it was Mount Howard. No, we did the tramway at the Wallowa Lake in Joseph. We did the Painted Hills. We did Smith Rock. You know what the biggest highlight was? It's the first getaway that the two of us have had together. She's got a twin sister, so majority of the time we do stuff in town. It's with the twin sister and with the twin sister's boyfriend. So it's always a group thing. And this was the first like activity that was actually just us, whole weekend, the two of us, which is kind of a big relationship mile marker. Like,
well, especially since you discovered that it's not her sister you were in love with.
They're not. They're not identical, so there's a little bit of separation. But no, so it was our first time to really like get away,
right on,
and just be us. Like I left the work phone at home. I didn't even touch it.
You have a separate phone for work?
Dude, are you kidding me? I have so many between my email, my bank, my security system, my vendors. Yeah, I have a separate phone for work.
Oh, dude, mine's all on one phone.
That's terrible.
I never stop working.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I don't do it.
Because the problem is,
I'm going on a cruise in September. I already told my wife we have to pay for the freaking internet package because I'm going to be working a little bit of it.
No. Like, okay. I mentally live at that pub 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm not physically working in it, which I am 6 days, like, you know, there's the administrative stuff. The payroll, the fees, the taxes, the just general accounting upkeep.
Yeah.
No, if I didn't have it, I didn't have it separated for the first year that we had the pub. And there was no escape, which...
Well, you have partners, which I don't know how much they do, but I know you have partners, so you have other people that are just as committed to it or just as invested in it as you are. I don't.
Sure.
So... For anyone that doesn't have a small business, 1 week of fucked up stuff can put you out of business. So I'm going to be working part of the time while I'm on my cruise.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do to keep your business going.
Yeah.
And that's what, and when I'm an owner operator, I don't have anybody else. It's just me. So,
but there's also a charm to that because... Like, people appreciate the owner-operator because they know that business is being put time into.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least other people that have businesses know that.
Right.
Your average Joe that walks in the place, apparently they think that the minute you own a business, your life is golden. So, honestly, that's what I thought before I bought a business. Just so everybody knows, that's not how it is. There's a lot more to it than that.
No, you live 24/8 in that business.
I thought I'll buy my own business so I don't have to work all the fucking time.
No, it's
now
even
I
more.
work twice as much.
Yeah. So that was what was so special about this trip, though, is being able to just get away and separate. And I'm very lucky because I had a number two to cover everything while I was gone. Because we were still open for 3 days while I was gone.
Yeah.
You know, I did all the preparation beforehand.
I was there like the day before you left.
Yeah.
And you were going over everything. He's like, oh, I didn't know I was working that day. Well, I guess I'll make sure I'm here.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't read my text messages, so...
He's a funny dude. He cracks me up.
He's fantastic. I think we sent the schedule like a week before I was leaving. Because my sister was supposed to cover for me.
Yeah, and then she got called to Alaska.
And she got called to Alaska because of fires, and it changed the whole thing. So we sent out a whole...
We need to question her commitment. I'm telling you right now.
Believe me,
I'm calling her out.
No.
On the podcast, we need to see some commitment.
When Carlos ends up murdered in a couple days, it wasn't my fault.
I can take her.
But no, so it was really nice to be able to, she camps and goes fishing all the time. Like that's kind of their getaway. Cause she works harder than I do. Shit. She's 12-hour shifts, 6 days in a row. And then she gets her time off, but, she's go. And so, for this trip to be able to just kind of get away for both of us to relax and, no, it was really nice. It was one of those moments where you see teamwork work in action and actually work, very first time we've ever done this, but the communication was after the first day was on point and that was nice.
That's awesome.
It takes
So was he giving you updates about what's going on and stuff?
No, I didn't hear it. I left it. I left at 10
a lot of the places you were at have no signal, so.
Right. I left at 10 a.m. on Friday. I got back into town about 7 o'clock on Monday. And I didn't get a phone call till 9 o'clock Monday night.
That's awesome. Were your batteries recharged?
No. No. It's actually...
A little bit? Come on.
A little bit. It's actually really funny. So I was chilling out Monday night, getting ready to go back to work. And I saw this meme, and it was... I thought I was burnt out and I needed a vacation. Turned out I needed therapy, but it's really pretty here. But no, it was nice to kind of break away from, and I mean, it was nice to break away from everything, just kind of have a moment to myself and to ourself. And there's so much that goes into small business in terms of, sacrifice and work effort. And
it's good to do that, though.
Yeah.
Especially in a new relationship.
Yeah.
Because you need to take that time to find out if you guys have got something really.
No, I have to learn who she is. She needs to learn who I am.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
So what other cool things did you guys do? What other highlights were there on your little vacation?
So let's see what. So the first day we hiked Waukelia Falls, which is right off the Columbia River.
Nobody wants to hear about your nocturnal fucking things going on.
Dude, you're tent camping 5 feet away from another person. There's not a whole lot of nocturnal stuff happening.
At least you didn't plan it for this week, dude. Can you imagine what that would have smelled like?
No.
Yeah.
Well, and what's worse is, so we left Friday. We had a shower Friday night because the place we camped out was like an RV tent camping site. And they had, they had Wi-Fi and showers and all that kind of stuff. We didn't have showers for the next 3 days. And we hiked every day.
Nice.
Every day. Like,
that's cool. You guys really get to know each other, though. That's freaking
Oh, 100%. By the end of it, though, so we did Waukelia Falls, which was hour and a half in and out. Real quick, but real pretty. Stayed in Enterprise, hung out at Terminal Gravity, which is a brewery up there. Went to Joseph, which, if you've never been to Joseph, it's so gorgeous.
Like I said, that's my wife's favorite place.
It's so nice. We actually went to a rodeo while we were there, did the farmer's market, went to Wallowa Lake. It was fantastic. But we did a hike there too, did the tramway up to the top of Mount Howard, hiked all around that. Came back down, went through La Grande and Baker City, John Day, did the Painted Hills and Blue Basin, which Blue Basin's cool. I've never been there before. So it is a kind of a canyon-ish area where it's an archaeological dig site.
Oh, sweet.
But they don't dig. No, literally.
That's for the archaeologists that just want to hang out.
Well, it's a weird combination between water erosion and volcanic exposure. So the rocks are blue.
Oh, sweet.
They're a weird blue-green tint that's completely separate from everything else. But what they do is they wait for rainstorms. And the rainstorms wash away the rocks and it reveals fossils. And that was different, but it was cool. So yeah, we did that.
Well, I think a bunch of Eastern Oregon used to be underwater, right? The way I understand
I'm going to take that word. I'm going to take your word for it.
Well, I think that's why the Painted Hills are the way they are, and probably that same area that you were talking about.
Yeah, because they say Painted Hills is a lot of different timelines and.
Well, yeah, and it got eroded by water.
Yep, water and volcanic
underwater.
ash, and
so I think a lot of that used to be underwater.
Yeah. So I mean, but it was gorgeous. Desert as much as it was gorgeous.
That's cool.
And then the final day, we camped at Smith Rock, which is just north of Bend in Terrebonne. And I think that was the only day where I was like, I don't think I like you, because she wanted to do it, and I was not prepared.
Dude, so the top of Smith Rock, where you come in the parking lot and you can look down at it?
Yep.
That's my extent of Smith Rock.
Really?
Because I'm not hiking fucking down there. Fuck that.
Dude, so we did, so if you look at the map of Smith Rock,
it looks cool as shit.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And they got climbers going up that freaking shit.
There were 7 different climbing spots.
Yeah. No.
Those people were insane.
I take pictures from the viewing area.
So we camped there at Smith Rock, which was actually really nice because their tent camping spot is very communal. So the parking area is where they do the cooking. Oh, excuse me. They do the cooking there. They do your showers, your cleaning. It's all in this one area. And then about 200 feet away, that's where you actually camp. So it's separate from everything else. So it's quiet. It's more secluded.
Cool.
No, it was really cool. But it's also, like I said, it's very communal because everyone comes together.
You're meeting fucking random people.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like 50, 60 people just hanging out in this area who've never interacted
I'd
before.
never get to my camp. I'm too social. I'd just be BSing, dude.
Well, by the time, 9 o'clock, 9:30 comes and you're getting close to quiet time, everyone's kind of settled off doing their thing.
Yeah, there's no quiet time when Carlos is around drinking.
Really?
No. Quiet time comes whenever I pass out. Once I'm drinking, I have a hard time shutting the fuck up.
It's really fun. So we didn't actually, she doesn't drink. I mean, she does sometimes, but not so much.
So we need to get her on the podcast too.
Nah, she wouldn't talk as much as I would. She'd just look at you like, what the fuck are you saying? But so we didn't have any booze with us the whole trip, which was, I mean, this is a weird alcoholic saying, but it's weird to not have any alcohol for 4 days. But it was nice. It was refreshing, and so we camped out and we woke up in the morning. You're camping. So 5:30 in the morning, that's when the sunlight hits.
Yeah.
And that's when everyone's up. And, so we went and we did, it's called Misery Ridge or Misery Trail.
That sounds pleasant.
Oh, it was fantastic. It's about 1,100 feet incline, and you're just going uphill the whole time across the side of the mountain. And it cuts Smith Rock in half. Then you get to the top, and you can either go the Outlook area, which is the longer version, takes about 5-6 hours, or you can go the shorter version, which goes down the back and goes around. It's about 2 hours or so. So that's what we did. We did the shorter version.
Which is probably more miserable.
I don't know.
Probably steeper.
Oh, it was steep. It was steep going up, steep going down. And this is going to say to my shape, I'm on my feet, 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day because of the pub. I'm not in shape.
Was she kicking your ass?
Well, she was kicking my ass. But on top of that, there was this pregnant lady, at least 5-6 months pregnant. She kicked our ass. It was her.
Pregnantly?
Dude, it was her dog, and I would assume her dad. And they made it from the bottom to the top, probably 25 minutes.
They lap you on the way down.
No, we never saw them again. They passed us. They were gone. Took us about 45 minutes to get from the bottom to the top, and they were probably 25 to 30 minutes because she never stopped. Me, I'm having to stop like every 300 feet, 400 feet.
Oh, it's freaking funny, dude. I would not have been that fast, dude. I would have been worse.
Well, I did a hike. I was like I said, it's been a year since I've been on vacation, right? And the last vacation I did was Hawaii a year ago. I went for a buddy's wedding. And we were on the Big Island. No, we were on Oahu, where Honolulu's at. And there's a hike there that's like 800 steps, just straight up, straight down.
That sounds miserable.
Oh, it was terrible.
I would never do that.
Well, so what I was told was there was
like a really good bar at the top.
It was an old military outpost.
Everything in Hawaii is an old military outpost.
Well, sure. But so they had the steps going up. But what I was told was it was the best view on Oahu. Like there was the more touristy hike, but like the best view was going up these stairs. And so I'm just having like PTSD flashbacks this whole time, going up these stairs in Smith Rock. And same thing. I mean, it wasn't a pregnant lady in Hawaii. It was a 6-year-old.
You gotta figure out which is worse. Oh my god.
But, well, dude, kids just don't know where to quit.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
No, they don't care. They're going to keep yelling. They're like, oh,
They have endless energy.
Yeah. But it was gorgeous. It was so pretty up at the top. And it was cool because I took a couple pictures. And it's almost like a painter's palette.
Yeah.
Like
my brother-in-law works for it's like a military school. Oh shit, dude, that is freaking pretty.
Dude, the blues and the greens and the grays and the browns, like all together, like
it looks like you could have climbed like 200 more feet.
That was the bottom on the way back around. Screw off.
Anyways, my brother-in-law, he works for it's like a military academy over there that I think they cater to kids that have discipline problems and stuff. But I believe they take their kids partway through their program. They all hike Smith Rock and do this for a day. And dude, he's hardcore. He's like a drill sergeant, and he freaking does it all the time, like it's nothing, like a fucking machine. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, you're fucking crazy. I would not do that. Fuck that. I'd be like on a golf cart telling him to hurry up.
Well, like I said, it's even crazy because we only did the short version of it. There's a whole other long version we didn't even touch. And I was dying at the top. We woke up that morning and she's like,
for the next 2 days, you're like, we're not hiking today.
Well, luckily it was the last day of the trip. So we were just driving home afterwards. But we woke up that morning. She's like, all right, so we're going to go. And I said, okay. But no, it was so pretty and it was so peaceful. You get to the top and your lungs are bursting, but just the view. I mean, I could see the sisters from the top. You could see Bend and just everything. It was so pretty and so worth it.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. And then, so I came back and I was back to work that next day, which I'll be honest, I was a little slow. I wasn't ready for it, but it definitely...
So you were apologizing to your customers all day?
Well, it was hot, so I didn't have too many customers. But I was explaining to my regulars, because I have a couple guys who they're there as soon as I open for coffee every single day. They're as much routine as I am to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so just kind of telling them about it. And it's I see them and then I see the mail lady and then I'm like, okay, my morning started. Here I go.
Right on. So, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, I think I remember you telling me that growing up you were kind of a nerd.
Yeah, I still am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know you were telling me that you got like this whole chess thing going on with your dad. So tell me a little bit about being a nerd growing up.
Okay.
When I was growing up, it was not cool to be a nerd. Now it's like the shit. Like, you're not cool unless you're a little bit of a nerd.
Oh, yeah. No, I never.
If I was like that, dude, I would have been like Rico Suave, dude. I'm telling you what.
No, I never saw that. Growing up, so my parents had like the original Game Boy. And if you ever seen the original Game Boy, it's about 5 inches tall, about 2.5 inches thick, and it's this beast of a game. And
dude, I grew up with Atari and Intellivision.
Okay.
You probably don't even know what that is.
I know what Atari is,
dude.
Geez.
My first computer was the Tandy 1000.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that was before the Commodore 64.
Okay, I've heard of that. I've never seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we were on the road all the time. So like a Game Boy was kind of like, it was the peak. I never really got into comics and all that kind of stuff, but I was playing Monopoly and like Madden 98 or whatever, my Game Boy. And growing up, just video games and board games like always intrigued me. I was playing Life and Clue and...
what about Risk, dude?
No one would play me in Risk.
Dude, I loved Risk.
Risk took too long.
I'm still trying to get people to play Risk with me.
I'll play Risk with you.
Fuck, we need that. I've got 5 different versions at my house. I'll bring one to the fucking pub and leave it there.
No, let's do it. We'll have a Risk night at the pub.
Let's do it.
Well, just 7 hours of no one doing anything but Risk.
Come on. I'm challenging anyone on the podcast that wants to come down to the pub. We'll do a Risk night.
I will.
I guarantee after you've drank, I guarantee I will drink more whiskey than you, and I will win.
Whiskey's not on the house, by the way.
No, no, you got to pay for that shit.
No, Risk, Axis, and Allies, Clue. Like, I grew up playing board games.
Axis and Allies was a good game.
I still have my version of Axis and Allies. I've only played it twice because it takes 5 hours to set up.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
But no, like, even so, like, I didn't really get into comic books growing up. I enjoyed superheroes and stuff like that. Batman was always my favorite because he was just a human with a lot of money and skills.
He didn't have skills. He just had a lot of money and fucking cool gadgets.
He was still like a black belt in like 5 different martial arts. Come on now.
Because he had to, because he got his ass kicked so long.
But no, like even nowadays, like, I mean, shoot, I've got probably 130 hours into my Baldur's Gate playthrough, which I shouldn't have. It's taken me a year to get that long because I don't have time to play games, but it's really fun because I just got into comic books for probably the first time in my life.
You go down to Heroes Haven?
Heroes Haven, yeah.
Dude, I have been friends and customer of Brett since he opened. In fact, I think I was there the day they opened.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I used to sell. I used to go down. I lived out Diamond Lake Boulevard, actually right above where my shop's at. And we'd walk down Diamond Lake Boulevard. There was a little baseball card shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know nothing about baseball, but my neighbor was super into baseball. So I would go to the baseball card shop and I'd look at baseball cards and whatnot. And he had heard about a shop opening. And so we walked all the way down Diamond Lake Boulevard to downtown, which Heroes Haven, when it opened, was by the courthouse. It wasn't uptown where it's at now.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know where the Idle Hour's at?
Yeah.
And where,
unfortunately,
right up from the Idle Hour, there was like a little building kind of in the middle of that open spot that drops down to that parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's where Heroes Haven was.
Really?
Yeah. And,
okay.
They opened there, and we went there and then discovered that they didn't have baseball cards. They had comic books. And I thought they were amazing. And then from then on, I started going down there and checking it out. And Brett's like, he and I are almost the same age.
Okay.
I think he's like a year older than me. And I thought he was the coolest person in the world because he had his own shop, which he didn't. He just was hanging out there because his parents owned this comic book shop. But
which Nancy and Jerry, by the way, fantastic people.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I thought he was cool as hell, and I'd go there. It was such a tiny, it was like the size of this fucking office, literally.
Really?
And it was so tiny. But I'd go there, and I fucking started buying comic books. I thought it was cool. And then I kind of grew, as I grew up, I couldn't spend money on that kind of stuff. So I kind of got out of it. My little brother was into it. Some of my friends were into it. But I've always gone back there. Mm-hmm. To this day, I still go in there.
Yeah.
I'll randomly buy stuff from him just because I've known him forever, dude.
Yeah.
And that's another one of those small business things. You know people. It's like they're your friends, and you just want to fucking support them.
Yeah. No, Marvel's doing they started it last year, but they're doing a revival of their Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
And so, like right now they have Spider-Man, X-Men, Black Panther, and the Ultimates. And so there's a new comic coming out every month. And so, yeah, he keeps, he brings them in, he puts one aside for me. Nice. No, it's, plus Nancy and Jerry and him actually, they come to music at the pub.
Are they regulars down there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on, that's cool.
It depends a lot on like who they know and if there's people like, I get a lot of the local, bands and then a couple newer bands and stuff like that, but yeah, they're down pretty much every other Friday or so.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have that camaraderie and stuff like that.
I need to go down there and find a comic that I can get back into so I can start reading something. I used to be a huge X-Men fan.
Okay.
But now X-Men there's like a million different ways to go with X-Men. So I don't know what to do with that, but I need to get down there and do something and find something that I can get into again.
See, that's where that's why I never really got into it, because I would just buy like the collective versions that would happen after the run was over. Like, okay, we ran these 20 comics. Well, now here's one big book that has them all together.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just buy that.
Like the graphic novel style?
Yeah. Just be like, oh, it's the whole story combined into one book. Nice. I'm like, that's what I would do. But now, like, this is the first time I've actually, like, I've bought comics every month as they come out, which is, it's fun again, you know?
Nice.
It's like, oh, I have to wait and see what's going on. It's like TV shows back when you actually had to wait instead of could stream everything.
Yeah.
But it's intriguing too, because like I know enough about comic history, but I've never actually really seen it. You know, comics are so much different than TV and movies.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like even the Marvel stuff that all came out last 10 years or whatever. As much as it has a comic history, it's still different from what the comics were. And so there's different storylines and things that I've never seen before. And now I'm kind of...
Well, and there's so much stuff that... So many little nuances and stuff.
Yeah.
That, like, you can't just read through a comic as fast as possible. You have to kind of read a section and kind of look at the pictures and stuff. Because there's so much stuff going on that you don't...
No.
You won't pick up on if you just read through it real fast.
The artwork is all different. The dialects are all different. Yeah.
And there's hidden things in there, and there's stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's really pretty cool. It's like its own own world.
Yep.
So that's cool that you're into comics. I didn't know that. I know you said you got a chess thing going on with your dad.
I do. So growing up,
it sounds like it's pretty hardcore.
I have never beat him.
Well, you said he wants to be a grandmaster, but he's too old now. I didn't know there was an age limit on being a grandmaster.
There's an age limit on being grandmaster. Yeah. So when I was growing up,
bullshit.
So I'll explain that. When I was growing up, chess was one of like. So my parents divorced early. Like they were divorced when I was 7. My dad moved up to Portland. My mom stayed here in Roseburg. So there was always this separation. And so I hate and I love I-5 for that reason, because I spent every other weekend going up I-5. Like I could drive from Roseburg to Albany blind and know every single curve.
There's no curves.
Well,
once you get to Cottage Grove, there's no curves.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
I was the same way. My dad was in Albany. My mom was here. There's fucking shit for curves, dude.
All right. Well, you know what I mean. I could do it blind.
Let the car drive itself.
Yes. And so we would spend, especially when I was with my dad, we would spend a lot of that time doing things like chess. So we'd play on the Game Boy or whatever. And growing up, I could never beat my dad in chess. We had 4 or 5 different chess sets, including this one from Mexico that his sister had brought up for him. It was like Incas versus Spaniards. Really ornate and gorgeous. It was a chess / backgammon set. And it was really nice, like rock carved. But anyway, he would kick my ass every single time.
As a father should do.
Yeah, no, 100%. Don't give me any credit. Let me earn it. And so that was a lot of our bonding growing up. Was me learning that from him and trying to beat him. To this day, I've never beat him. About a month ago, we played again for probably the first time in like 3 or 4 years. And I beat him, and I call bullshit because he guaranteed.
You thought he gave it up?
He 100% gave it up. 100%.
Because he's fucking old and soft now?
But no, so yeah, he picked it back up as a hobby,
Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
do your thing.
I got to pause 1 second
Yep.
here.
I know.
All right. Sorry for that. So, the chess thing, you know what's fucking weird? Is when my parents got divorced, my dad moved to Albany.
Okay.
And he was pretty much there until I got older.
Yeah.
My dad's the one that taught me chess.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever won against him.
Nope.
I haven't played him in years, which this is making me want to pull out a chessboard and kick his fucking ass. Because I think he might be having enough little fucking forgetfulness going on.
Why do you not have a board here?
So I told you earlier, I have one I inherited from my little brother. Super nice. My office is not huge.
Chessboards aren't big.
I know. I should bring it in and
I feel like going.
I could have it set aside.
No, listen. Going forward, because there was a little bit of time before we started doing this.
Oh, I would have fucking kicked your ass.
Bullshit.
Probably. But I would talk shit like I was kicking your ass the whole time.
But I mean, I think it's a good opener, you know? Hey, let's play some chess. Either someone's going to get really competitive, which actually might ruin your interview, but...
Oh, no. Nothing ruins the interview. The only thing that would ruin the interview is if I personally got offended by shit and tried to get competitive with shit. And that's not me.
Can you get offended?
No.
Yeah.
I can't personally.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say.
Because I'll just tell you what I think all the time. So, I mean, but I'm accommodating to whoever my guest is.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you told me, because you can account for this. I asked you if there's any requests that you have before the fucking interview.
Oh, yeah.
If your request would have been, do you have a chessboard? I would have fucking had a chessboard sitting here.
If you had caught me on a regular week, I probably would have said it, but no, this week required bourbon.
Yeah, so I try and make sure my guests have what they want, as long as it's not crazy. If you're some nutty bitch, I'm going to tell you, no, you're fucking out of line. But if you tell me I need a really good bourbon, I need vodka, I need...
God, who needs
gin.
vodka?
Dude,
Kick those people out.
No, some people want whatever.
No, kick them out.
I had Savannah on earlier. She wanted to have a nice screwdriver.
All right.
I made sure that she had everything she needed to have a nice screwdriver.
Yeah.
I had Frank on. He wanted fucking Di Serono. I got Di Serono.
Frank and I need to talk because I brought in Di Serono just for that hymn.
And he hasn't been there enough.
No,
let's fucking call that bitch out. Frank, get your ass to Little Brother's Pub to drink that Di Serono because nobody else likes it. Nobody. That is the biggest fucking weird bitch drink ever.
Actually, I made a couple amaretto sours with it that were pretty good.
Well, Di Serono is just amaretto, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a fancy amaretto, but
I'm telling you what, the Quiet Professional, the best drink ever,
All right.
and it needs
it's
amaretto.
going on the newsletter. So explain this. What is the Quiet Professional? And then you will see it at Little Brother's
Okay, Quiet
Pub
Professional.
all next week.
Is bourbon,
Okay.
amaretto,
Okay.
a little bit of maple syrup,
Okay.
lime juice. No, not lime juice.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Take that out.
You lost me there.
I jumped into a fucking food recipe, so ignore that. It's amaretto, a couple dashes of bitters, and some freaking lemon, and a cherry, and that's basically it.
There was lemon in that?
Yeah, you do the
Oh, the lemon twist at the end.
lemon twist. Well, and you, what do they call that when they squeeze the oils of the lemon in?
No, it's
Yeah, and then you garnish it with a lemon and a cherry.
All right, so
It is amazing.
he basically listed off what is an old fashioned, but an exemplified version of it.
Yeah, instead of simple syrup or sugar.
Yeah, instead of simple
You're
syrup,
using
you're using the amaretto and the maple syrup Don't get that wrong.
And the maple syrup, and
Yeah.
instead of orange, you're using lemon.
Lemon.
Yeah. But fucking bomb.
All right. So starting on Monday,
This won't air for like 2 weeks.
That's fine. That's whatever.
3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks.
See, July 15th, which is already passed by the time this is available to your earlobes. You can get the, what's it called again?
It's called the Quiet Professional.
The Quiet Professional will be available at Little Brothers Pub.
I will test it and make sure that it's worthy of people to drink.
Okay. All right. I'm down for that.
You want me to come teach you how to make it?
Fuck no, but you can come try it.
Oh, come on, dude. You want it to be made correctly. Oh, shit. So what other kind of... so one of the nerdy things that you had started, but you haven't done again, which my wife and my son were so excited about, was Mario Kart night at the fucking pub.
Yes.
Dude, my wife and son were so excited about it. You did it a couple times, and then when I told them about it, it's never happened again.
So that, I think, goes to the growing pains of the pub, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Maybe we should do that as like an afternoon thing.
No, and that's what it was. So it's... Okay, how do I say this?
It wasn't called Mario Kart though, because you couldn't do that.
We couldn't officially call it Mario Kart now. But it's just trying to find what works for the pubs in terms of afternoon entertainment. It's a small place. If you've never been there before, it is literally 1,000 square feet of tables, bar, kitchen. Like, there's no darts, there's no pool, there's no, like, this isn't your dive bar. This is your, hey, I'm gonna come hang out.
Yeah, it's a little hangout spot.
Yeah,
it's not.
And so when we were doing these Mario Kart days, they were on our Saturday nights, and it was a kind of a way to bring people into the pub because it hasn't normally been on people's radar. Like, when we took the place over, they weren't open Fridays and Saturdays. Yeah. They were open.
I'll tell you what. You know what would probably get that going is to put up some kind of an advertisement at like Video Games Plus and the other video games.
Nexus Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. At
those places. Because that's the clientele you're getting.
Yeah. No, I think like we've built a lot on, so like I said, because we don't have those typical like hangout spots, things, there's no jukebox, no darts, no whatever. We built on doing events, and Mario Kart on Saturdays was a big one for a while, but it was also hard because Saturday nights aren't a normal thing that people think about at the pub. They want to maybe go out to a nice fancy dinner.
Yeah.
Or they're your 21s and just barely overs, and they're going to the idle hour and rumors and stuff like that. So trying to find where our place is in that. I would like to bring those back. I still got the projector set up.
Maybe we should do that on a weekday night.
Maybe. That might be a bad idea. Tuesdays are dead, but we can do it on a Thursday or Friday. That might be fun.
Sounds good to me. Anyways, I know my wife and my son were down with that shit. And then it just hasn't happened since.
Yeah.
So I know next time you do it, as long as I know in advance, I will schedule it and I will make sure my wife and son come.
Deal.
And we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
So what kind of other stuff you got going on before we wrap up?
Like I said, we do live music. We have our open mics, which are it's a smorgasbord of local talent and comedians, poets, music.
Whoever wants to take the mic.
Yeah, but honestly, you almost are afraid of days like those because you're like, oh, these guys aren't going to be good. No, we're getting like actual talent down on our open mics.
Dude, there is so much talent in this town.
Well, and it's been nice, too, because we've turned a lot of that into our Friday night shows. Like, hey, you come to open mic and you kill it. let's put you on a paid gig on Friday night and let's have a good time. We do our Wednesdays trivia, which are a lot of fun. And then, like I said, coming real soon, we have a new updated food menu, a couple new burgers, a couple new sandwiches, a little more of your pub appetizer stuff, happy hours.
Maybe you'll see the Bobby on that menu eventually.
You might see the Bobby as a special.
We'll call it probably something different.
Absolutely. It's going to be the Carlos.
Yeah. It won't be the Carlos.
It has
Honestly,
to be.
I don't even like turkey, but that sandwich was amazing.
So
I gave you an idea for a burger. I wanted fucking habaneros and shit grind up in that shit.
Yeah, you know what the problem with that burger was? No one could eat it.
Oh, dude. Those people don't need to have a burger.
Okay, but I need them to have a burger. But no, we'll have our regular menu set. We'll have a couple specials that rotate through. I'm really excited for what the pub's going to be going forward. We're coming up on the 50th anniversary of the pub.
You gonna do something big?
Oh, we're gonna do something huge. Yeah,
awesome.
I have a trial run next year.
Is that next year? That's the 50th?
No, it's the 50th in 2 years. But
Maybe we'll partner up on something.
We're doing a trial run. We're doing Roseburg class of 75. Their 50th reunion is next year, and the pub's hosting it.
Awesome.
And then I'm going to use that as kind of like the template for the pub's 50th, which is the year after in 2076.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to that.
This is as historic as this place is, it's going to be a place in Roseburg's future, and I'm excited for it.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, dude, thanks a lot for coming on the show. This has been fun.
No, I'm glad it finally worked out.
Well, I knew you were having to close up early because of the weather. So I took advantage of the opportunity to get you on the show because I've been trying for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this will generate some more business for you.
Sure.
By the time this airs, the weather's going to be a little bit better.
God, I hope so.
And, dude, everybody needs to check you guys out because your food is awesome. The atmosphere is amazing. If you want to just fucking take your old lady down there and fucking play some cribbage or, you probably got backgammon and other goofy shit down there.
What do we got? I got 2 cribbage boards, 2 chess boards, one of which has backgammon.
You're going to have a Risk board down there pretty soon because I'm going to donate one of mine to you. And we're going to get a fucking Risk tournament going on at Little Brothers Pub. What is it? Usually, like, you go to a comedy show, there's 2 drink minimum.
Yeah.
We're going to have like a 1 burger minimum or fucking order something minimum.
Oh, and they're good burgers too. They're pressed to order. Like this ain't no frozen
you
shit.
Use real burger.
Yeah.
It's not McDonald's prefab stuff.
No.
When you order a burger from you guys, it's a fucking, like I said, that burger that you made for me, I had to stand up to press it down small enough so that I could fucking get it in my mouth.
Just for reference, that was the Roseburger. It was a homemade rose hip jam.
That stuff's amazing.
Yeah, right. Mayonnaise, half-pound patty, grilled jalapenos, provolone, bacon, lettuce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a burger.
Yeah, it was awesome. But, yeah, we'll get something going on down there. I think it'll be fun. And then hopefully you'll get the Mario Kart thing going on again. And
I'm hoping to. I still got the projector set up. It's just, it's timing and figuring everything out. So,
dude, I'll tell you what. If it gets cool enough for me to sit outside and smoke a cigar, I'll probably be there a lot. Because I could drink whiskey and smoke a cigar, have a burger.
God,
that is my dream.
Do I need to get a cigar license? I don't know what that is.
I can bring my own cigars. You don't have to bring a cigar license.
Is that how that works? All right, fine by me.
Do they have a cigar license? Is that a thing?
I think for selling tobacco there might be.
Probably.
But I mean, I guess you were outside technically.
You need to like make it so it's one lane going past your store. And we'll put like a whole dining room out in the freaking driveway.
Well, this is a weird because it's not actually in my business. So right across the street from me is there's a theater coming in. It's a single screen art theater.
Really?
Right across the street from me.
Next to the t-shirt place?
Next to the t-shirt place, in between what was the old Boot Barn. It's a 2-story like cafe and theater. I don't know all the details on when it's coming to be, but it's coming to downtown Main Street real quick.
Really? Are they going to play like, you don't even know what they're playing probably?
I know nothing. All I know is I'm super excited to have something else on Main Street.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Right?
Yeah, because everything's on the street over.
Everything's on Jackson Street.
Yeah.
So to have
That's
something...
your problem, is because everybody's like, oh, I didn't even know there was stuff on that side.
Yeah, Main Street was Main for like 20 years
Yeah.
in the 70s. And now Jackson Street's kind of the home of everything. So, but no, this theater, it's right across the street from me on Main Street. I don't know the name or anything yet because it's pretty early in
You
development.
need to partner up with all the other stuff that's like there in that little area by you.
Well, actually, so next month we're doing a Bloody Mary workshop. Partnered up with the Apothecary and Jackson Street Provisions.
Oh, yeah.
So the pub is going to host it. We're going to do Eggs Benedict and like fruit and stuff like that for the meal. And then Jackson Street and Apothecary are going to...
When is that?
We're still working on the date. Check out Apothecary's Facebook.
So you let me know what the date is.
Yeah.
I need at least 2 spots for that. Because I'm going to pay for my wife and her best friend.
Sure.
And maybe another friend or two. For sure, let me know.
Yeah, because it's going to be...
My wife is a Bloody Mary fanatic.
It's going to be a whole home kit on making your own Bloody Marys for parties and just at home. And then the pub's going to provide the food, so you have a nice, full experience. Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Right on. So my brother-in-law and his girlfriend... Every year, he's huge into canning and all that stuff. He does his own salsa every year. And he's one of the only people I know that cooks his salsa down. So he stews his salsa down, and then he strains it. And he strains all the juice out of it. And then all the juice he fucking cans and turns that into Bloody Mary mix.
Really?
And it is the best Bloody Mary mix in the world. But, so, whenever, and then his girlfriend, which is one of my wife's best friends.
Yeah.
They do my wife does a ladies hunting camp every year. And she also does a ladies weekend away where a bunch of women go camp for the weekend. She does both of those every year. And every year, her best friend that is with her brother-in-law, brother-in-law, brings that Bloody Mary mix, and they make Bloody Marys, and it's like amazing. Like that's all they rave about. So, but they are super big Bloody Mary fans.
Okay.
So yeah, when you figure out a date, let me know.
Yeah.
I will pay in advance for spots for my wife and her friend, because that'll be a good present for her.
No, it'll be great because the Jackson Street Provisions, they do a really awesome
I've
Bloody
known
Mary.
Chad forever.
They do a really awesome box that's just like all that stuff pre-made. It's the mix, it's the spices.
And your fucking bacon is awesome.
Thank you.
That I'm sure you get from Tim.
I don't actually, but let's not talk about that.
Sorry, Tim. You're asked out on that one.
No, but then like the Apothecary does this really awesome black garlic vodka.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. So this is going to be a fun combination when it comes together. And it'll be in the next month or so. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me know, because I'm serious. My wife will be down for that.
Deal.
So anyways, we've been here for a while. Thank you for coming on the show. You've
No,
been
I
an
appreciate
awesome
you having me.
guest. I'm fucking glad. It sucks that you had to close up early, but I'm glad because I finally got you on the show.
Well, hopefully the heat. I mean, it's gonna be in the 90s the rest of the week, but I think I got a solution to it. So
Make sure to support your local businesses. Get out there, go to these little mom and pop shops. Freaking find the little hole in the wall pubs. Little Brothers Pub is amazing. If you want an afternoon where you go play a game of cribbage or something with your significant other or buddy while you're having a burger, that is the place. Telling you what. Because you're going to be happy with the food. You're going to be happy with the drinks. And you might even get freaking Bryant here to sit down with you for a minute and tell you some lies in your ear and freaking send you home feeling better.
they're pretty lies though, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's right. So, dude, I'm super excited to see what you have to come in the future. I'm happy for you that you found a girl. It sounds like she might be all right.
Yeah, she does. She's all right.
Yeah. Well, we might have to have her. You have to bring her in the shop.
Oh no, she'll refuse.
Why?
Dude, she hasn't even met like 90% of my friends.
No, I'm not your friend. Just tell her you want to look at some guns. Tell her you want her to check out this shop, and then I'll just ambush her. She won't even know.
You know, she might be down for that, actually.
Dude, they're all down for it if they don't know what's happening. That's the secret to life, my friend. You gotta surprise them. But anyways, thank you again for coming on. I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you, Carlos.
And until next time, you folks have a good one. I'll talk to you later.